What's up, YouTube? So I've been playing this game a little bit off of the recordings here to kind of get some unlocks and stuff, since I didn't feel like people wanted to watch me fail, 300 times in a row. And I've been learning about the game. But today we're going to be playing some of this character. I like him. I like the gun better than the bone as a starting weapon. Obviously, the move speed is nowhere near the same, so that is one of the downsides. But I feel like the weapon is way more important after playing the game for an extended period of time. It seems that having a good weapon most of the time will carry you longer than having a lot of move speed will. That being said, we did just get a move speed tone, which will help with that move speed problem. Now if I can just manage to not fall off the fucking ledge. One thing that's bad about this character is that it's even squishier than calcium. So we have to be really careful to basically not take damage. Or take as little damage as possible. But we have gotten some very good rolls here to start out with, so that's going to be extremely helpful. It'd be great if I could get fucking projectile bounce. So I can get some AoE, or just another skill that does AoE. Do it again. Nope. Aura will work for us right here. Will be great right there. Well, we off to a great start. Let's see if we can maintain this momentum. Dude, come on now. This is just fucking ridiculous. Get out the air. I mean, I get that they're frozen in time, but how am I supposed to deal damage when he's levitating? Big chest. God damn, bro. This is like crazy start for this. I mean, we basically haven't hit a bad object yet. We'll take a beast. Bro, I wish this fucker would die already so I could just move on. Thank you. Jesus. Holy. One of the things we're gonna look out for is cheese. Cheese is extremely good. This is also really good. Basically anything that we can use to stack a lot of damage. Fireball's not terrible. I'd rather have dice on Clank though. Bro, did that really not charge? God damn it. AP regen, massive. Very important on this character that you have some kind of healing, because you will take damage, and then you will fucking die immediately afterwards. Especially when it comes to the bosses having their little AoE fields, because, they just does a pretty good job of protecting us from normal mobs. But it doesn't do much against those AoEs that come across the entire fucking map in the event that we don't have enough damage to kill the boss immediately. Obviously, we're aiming to have a crazy DPS as fast as possible here, but you never know. We got here. Oh baby, that is 100% what we're fucking taking. Well, I got that right in time, dude. And now we can see exactly what I was referring to by the AoE spam and me not having enough damage. Oh shit. And I'm dead. Just like that. That's a perfect fucking example. I gotta stop trying to charge those things when they're fucking bosses, dude. And we go again. Anyways, like I was saying, move speed, attack speed, projectile count, those are all things we're looking for. Obviously, if we get the luck tome early on, that's also really good. Ooh, that's a good item. That helps us cut down the boss's health. So, I don't know if I want to click on this without a guarantee of being able to do good damage. Hey kid, did you pick up early? Damage tome, easy pickup. So one of the things I did was obviously I unlocked all of the weapon and tome slots. At least I think this is all of them. Because, yeah, only having 2 weapons and 2 tomes kind of sucks. Too limited on being able to put together any kind of cohesive build. Especially when you're unlocking a lot of tomes and then you have to spend all of your banishes and stuff just to get rid of the ones you don't want. Because there's only 2 that are really good. Ooh, another unstable transfusion. We love that. Probably shouldn't have fucking spent money to open that chest. Oh well. It is what it is. Oh, we're getting these already? Well, that's not great. My god, bro. Guess we'll go with Fireball just so we have a second projectile going out. Fireball is pretty good. It does a good chunk of damage and it has some AoE to it, so that will help out. We definitely want Aegis as well on this guy because he's just way too squishy. Like if you don't have a way to, you know, build distance between you and the enemies, your shield is just not gonna recharge. Projectile bounces, in my opinion, for the pistol is like the best upgrade. There's our Aegis. Because it gives us AoE. And also gives us multiple proc chance, but, you know, mostly AoE. Holy! Well, this is a hard choice, but I'm taking a projectile count. Obviously, if we can get both projectile and luck, and attack speed, that's a pretty good build. Attack speed is just giga good in general. I still have not changed my mind that attack speed is probably the best stat in the game. Obviously, if you're using some items, it's not really that effective. But for most builds, oh my god, double projectile count? What the fuck? Most builds, a good amount of attack speed is great. Some luck. We like luck. Makes our other rolls better. Oh my god, bro, we getting crazy bounces. This might even be a better run than the other one that we just had going. Oh. Mostly just because our fucking DPS is like way higher. Yeah, we don't have to deal with 2 bosses. Gonna be somewhat of an advantage here. I mean, yeah. That little bit of move speed that you get from the first tome is already really good, but the more move speed you get from it, the better it becomes, because you can go across the map faster and open all the chests and pots and etc. Ooh, yeah, but we want... Unfortunately, at this point, we really do want attack speed, so... Attack speed is extremely important. It's hard to choose, you know, pick between what's better in terms of individual projectile count. There's our attack speed. So now we have all the tomes we need, and we're just looking for dice. Dice is probably the best weapon you can have on this character, just because it scales with his latent crit to get some truly ridiculous shenanigans going on. That's a fork. We definitely want that. Which means we do not want to spend money right now. We need 370 gold. There's a pot right here. Might help out. And we got a swarm coming, so that'll help some too. Just gotta be careful not to fucking die to the swarm. There's our dice. I know a lot of people say that you should just take Aegis and Aura on every single fucking run in this game, but I feel like it's... I don't know, Aura doesn't really do that much in my opinion, especially if you're not trying to stand right next to the fucking thing. Basically, the further you're standing away from your enemy, the better on this character. Getting enemies close to you is basically gonna get you killed, no matter what. Just because you have no fucking health. It's better to just try and avoid the damage than it is to, you know, get an AoE that might kill them before they get you. And like I said, dice is not like crazy high damage by themselves, but with the way we're building already, spamming a lot of projectile count, they will start scaling really, really quickly. And once they get to like 100% crit chance, then it's basically guaranteed that you're always going to get crits off of them, which then makes other items like that little sword that heals you whenever you crit. Makes that way better. Not to mention your DPS just increases in general, because you're dealing crit damage instead of base damage. And in case you're wondering why the dice are better on this character, it's because he's a crit scaling character. So every time you level up, you get a little bit more crit. Now obviously if you had crit damage, that would be even better, but I want the mirror here. But I don't think there's a character like that, or I haven't unlocked them yet, so. But in general, I like the playstyle of spamming a lot of projectiles in every single direction a lot more. It just looks a lot more visually interesting for starters. It's a lot less boring. You know, the whole thing about Aura is you just spam size and then you just go stand in the corner, right? It's like, ooh, oh my god, so hard, so fun to watch. But that's boring, bro. Not like I'm trying to win every single run I ever play. I'm just trying to enjoy the game. Oh yeah, big money on him. Oh no, my power up is inside. Oh, I got it. Still got it, bitch. You can't hide from me. Like I said, see, the move speed's already really paying off because, like, look at how much shit I've already gotten. And we're still 3 minutes into this run. Like, we still got 3 minutes left in this run. There's about to be a swarm, so I'll go ahead and charge this before that happens. Sure, projectile count. And sometimes you can get lucky and charge one of these, like by standing on top of it if you have an extra jump. I think we got just enough here to be able to do it and get out of here before we get overwhelmed. Obviously, that is the one downside to playing a projectile spamming build, is until you get crazy, you know, count or size or piercing or something like that, you're gonna suffer a lot in the swarm phase. But that's okay. And we've got the new we got our second boss coming up here soon as well. Nope, no crit damage, so we're just gonna pick up the obvious choice here. Like I said before, cheese, very, very powerful. If we can get cheese, we would love to see it. Also, evasion is probably your best bet in terms of defenses on this character, just because not getting it in the first place will basically guarantee that you don't fucking die. I don't recommend armor because you still take damage. It's just less damage, and it doesn't matter how much less damage you take if you don't have any fucking health to begin with. And it's not like you can really scale armor even with the armor tome that effectively, because you can't guarantee that the armor tome is the only thing that's gonna roll. Projectile count. If we get enough knockback, we can do some crazy things. We need to go ahead and head over to the portal now. Oh yes, more bounces. Like I said, bounces are extremely powerful because they let you clear crowds of enemies instead of just shooting one guy 12 fucking times. Attack speed also extremely powerful. Now there was a boss shrine back there that I could pick up, and I probably could get away with it at this point with how much damage I have, but looks like I'm gonna have to spend some time getting up here, and I don't want to have to deal with the boss and the ghost, and then having to kill two bosses with the ghost. That's just a nightmare situation. So we're gonna go up here without that. And then we might spend some time farming Ghost after the boss if we manage to kill the boss quickly enough. Which I don't think will be a problem because, oh god. You know, we are dealing a pretty good amount of damage. If the boss could come the fuck down the hill, that'd be great. Man, we are getting a lot of attack speed rolls that are really high quality. Now, one thing about Aegis is you can use some of your shields on the boss, as long as you're careful not to use up all of them, to deal a pretty good chunk of fucking damage. And I feel like a lot of people ignore this, and they just try to play extremely passive, defensive, you know, that kind of thing. Like I said, you gotta be careful though, because you might get pressed into a wall and then you're fucking dead. Especially if other mobs start swarming you, that's a pretty good pickup here. Especially since the ghost just started spawning. And we're gonna have to spend our time making it directly back up to the boss as quickly, or the portal as we can, because we don't have any double jumps. And if the black ghost spawn, we are going to fucking die. Ah, yes, crit damage. Ooh, even better. Revolver crit damage. Move speed. A lot of shit to pick up. Projectile speed is like the, it's an okay stat to have, but it's not like relevant really. Pretty big damage on the shields. Or I could take some projectile count. I'll take the projectile count. Crit damage here, attack speed here. Take the crit damage on the pistols. And the reason you want to upgrade your primary more than you upgrade your other weapons by the way, is because once you make it to the final boss, which I haven't done on video yet, but I have done a few times, he will take all of your fucking items away, except for your primary weapon. And if you don't have any alternative, you will just die. I've got 30 seconds before this run ends because of fucking Ghost. And I can't find my way up this goddamn hill. And so we will just wait here, kind of farm some kills, you know, get some XP until the black ghost starts spawning and, you know, becoming an actual threat. White ghosts are not a problem usually once you get to this level of geared up. Remember before they were a big problem because I didn't have any kind of, you know, build synergy basically. I mean, when you're limited to one item in a fucking Aegis, it's not like you can make powerful builds out of that, you know? So I can get 2 projectiles on Fireball, I could get big damage increase on Dice, or I could get some attack speed. I'll take the Dice, mostly because Dice... So one of the other good thing about Dice is that they are a piercing projectile, so they will go right through enemies. If you get them to be big enough, they will go through the entire pack. And then they will deal massive amounts of damage. I do like crit damage. It's one of the best stats you can roll on this. Now, this bush right here would absolutely fucking annihilate me if I was to awaken it right now, but if we can get enough stacking items, then we might do that before we leave. So, yeah. Really, we're just looking for, like I said, more damage. Projectile count. Big damage. Obviously, you should be... See, this is the item that we want for healing. This will allow us to lifesteal, basically, but a little bit less directly lifesteal. Since almost all of our damage is going to be crit, we will be healing basically all the time. As you can see, our damage is enough right now to where we can still manage pretty well everything. Picking up some health wouldn't be a terrible option here. I mean, it's only 6, so it's not like it's crazy amount of health, but take what you can get when you don't have any health. I mean, think about it like this, that was basically like a 10% fucking increase to my HP right here. Now this is a kind of way you can indicate how much damage you're going to deal to the bosses by using these challenge shrines and how long it takes you to clear them. And then I would basically just double that number, whatever it is. So it took me about, I don't know, 5 seconds there, so relatively quickly. So if I could focus fire the boss for, say, 10 seconds, it'll probably die. Now obviously the problem becomes being able to just deal damage solely to the boss for 10 seconds. Because most of the time the bosses spawn like either right before or right after a swarm, so you're gonna have to deal with a huge ass pack of enemies. And here you can see the little factor of damage that I was talking about. Like, not exactly accurate, but it's a, you know, it's a fair indication. Obviously, if you have more stacking damage items, like the cheese, for instance, then this would be a much faster process, but right now, all we have is nothing that stacks damage, so yeah, we're just dealing... Oh wait, no, we do have 1 stack of blood transfusion, so we're doing something, I suppose. Not much, though. Most of our damage is just coming from straight up damage. Which is great. That means with that information, we know we can probably kill the final boss in under a minute as long as we continue to scale our stuff here correctly. Big crit damage or some additional defenses or just big flat damage. I think the big crit damage. The dice should be getting pretty close to 100% crit chance at this point. It's kind of hard to tell because you can't like just hover over the item and see the crit chance. But when the upgrade rolls around, you can look at that and tell if it has a crit chance. Oh boy, I probably should not be fucking charging this right now. More fireballs. And move speed's great for the swarm because they can't keep up with you, so you don't get fucking bogged down by 1,000 enemies just whittling away your defenses. Obviously, this is where if you had aura, you would just, you know, stand still basically because you don't have to deal with the fucking wave of enemies coming at you. But since we don't have aura, we do have to deal with a wave of enemies coming at us. They will die pretty quickly, so once the swarm stops spawning, we can kind of chill out again, but until then, we have to keep moving. Usually it takes about 20 seconds for the swarm to clear out. Ooh, baby, a printer. That is a very expensive printer, though. We do not have even we only have one item of that rarity. Oh, well, there's a guy that can give us another item of that rarity. And we know we're safe from the swarm now, so we can use this to kind of charge this up, get some damage increase, and get back over here. Yeah, aggressively using your, oh my god, fucking peak damage. Yeah, using your Aegis aggressively to kill enemies is also good. Like again, a lot of people just use it defensively, and that's great when you're just filling with infinite life or some shit, but using it aggressively to kill off enemies lets you level up faster, and that's what we like to do here. And like that item we just picked up, every kill we get gives us a little bit more power. A little more shields. Just kind of widen that safety net a bit. Obviously, the character is the character, so you're never gonna really escape the fact that it doesn't have that much health without going for one of the health tomes, but then you're gonna massively deteriorate your damage potential, and that's not gonna end well for you. At a certain point, it doesn't matter how much health you have if you can't kill the enemy, because the Black Ghost will kill you no matter what. I know it's theoretically possible to survive the Black Ghost, but I have yet to do it, so I'm assuming there's some items that make it a significant amount easier to survive those Black Ghosts, and there's probably also characters that are much more suited for that. Just get raw damage here. Obviously, I'm assuming if you had like aura and, you know, enough damage amplification, you could probably just kill the both ghosts on spawn or something like that, but the likelihood of something like that happening is pretty low. And all it takes is for basically one of those ghosts to hit you for you to get just absolutely one shot. Yeah. Can't charge that. That is a fucking wall of mobs, boy. Got a boss coming in here shortly, and I'm going to go over here Try to clear out some of these wall of mobs, hopefully. Picking up some of this XP that I just dropped on the ground. Having extra jumps is always good. Let's just escape getting pressed together by mobs. And now we've got two of these pig guys floating around the map. And the reason I say floating around the map is because they never stay in the same goddamn fucking spot. Where the fuck is this magnet at, bro? There it is. Huge bounces. That's a big damage increase. 10%. And so see, we already have 186% crit chance, so we don't have to worry about that. Get some attack speed. Some more projectiles. Oh my god, a massive amount of crit damage. More projectiles. Oh, more bounces every time. Big damage increase. Attack speed. And that's probably the last one we're getting out of that. Now somewhere in this fucking area is that. Right over there. Is what we want to pick up. Let's see if this guy has anything interesting. Take that boss damage. We can use this to go find the bosses and try to kill them, and hopefully they don't run the fuck away by the time we get up to them. And they moved, of course. Like I said, they move around a lot. They are really, really fucking annoying. But if we get enough attack speed on them, it doesn't matter. Oh, here's another invincibility. We can use this to just walk into this guy, breaking our shields and just cleaving the absolute shit out of his health. Unfortunately, we do gotta go spawn the actual boss, so we don't die to Ghost. And that's gonna make it a lot harder because now we have to deal with 4 bosses at the same fucking time. Luckily we have a lot of bounce, so we can kind of split the DPS up here. But I don't think we're gonna survive this run, unfortunately. We just didn't find any stacking items. There are a few power-ups that could save us here, obviously, you know, if we can find them. Invincibility is pretty good, but, you know, attack speed's also a good option. Berserker. Power-up could help. And we can survive White Ghost fairly well, so it's not like we're automatically dead to White Ghost. So we're basically just looking for any kind of stackable damage. Unfortunately, like I said before, it doesn't seem like this is a run we're gonna live through. There's just not enough damage. Trying to stay on the portal as close as possible, so when the black ghosts spawn, if I do manage to kill the bosses before I die, I can immediately escape through the portal. But both of the bosses basically have full health still, so seems fairly unlikely. And here's the black ghost to end the run. Now, We can survive the Black Ghost for maybe a few seconds, but ultimately there's just no fucking way to live through this because they just eventually press you into the ground and then you die. Obviously we could try to escape the map, but yeah, that's not gonna really happen. I think the key is to really just not fight the movement that they're giving you and just kind of go and whatever. Yep, see, one shot. As soon as it happens, it happens. There's nothing you can do about it. How unfortunate. Well, like I said, I'm still learning the game. And I also did figure out the shop exists, and I've been buying some upgrades in here that's been helping out a lot with the runs. So we'll go again, and hope that we get any kind of item that stacks damage, especially cheese. Cheese is fucking OP. For it to be a green item and have the amount of effect it has on your DPS is kind of insane, to be honest. Oh, that's a good thing to pick up immediately. And yeah, like I said before, we lost the run there, but it wasn't because we didn't have aura. It was because we didn't have enough fucking DPS. Now, you could argue that if we had the Luck Tome instead of the Move Speed Tome, then maybe we would have gotten better rolls and had more DPS, and sure, that's a valid thing, but also I might not have even made it as far as I did without the Move Speed Tome because, you know, I would have fucking died before then. You can also make arguments about the, you know, effectiveness of Fireball as an actual weapon, which is a completely valid, because I don't know if it's better than the pistol, if the pistol's better than the Fireball. It's basically impossible to tell because it just depends on which one rolls the most upgrades. Don't love that. Yeah, we're gonna look for some more. Oh, attack speed, easy. Oh, I don't know how we haven't killed this fucking one guy yet. Which I'll count. Oh my god. I'm just trying to train the enemies here in a circle while I build my shields back up. Obviously, it's better if you can start moving across the map and getting shit, but you do want to get some early upgrades, otherwise you're gonna get fucking absolutely clapped when enemies start spawning. Here, I'll take some armor. Not exactly what we want, but it's something. Okay, there is a blue item up there. We can turn all of our blue item printer, I should say. We can turn all of our blue items into projectiles, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good option. We could also turn them into charger things and just get an absolutely fiendish amount of charging stations in the next stage, if we make it to that point. I don't think that the pillar actually provides any bonus to the charging stations themselves. I mean, maybe it makes it where it heals you a little bit more, but it's not exactly super useful. Try out these rockets that I just bought. They might be pretty good. I'm already seeing some insane impact on my visibility. Toxic barrel or move speed. I mean, one is purple and the other one is just move speed. This one does increase my damage, but I have to get hit, which I don't like getting hit. So let's go ahead and take the move speed. Now, if we could get some economy items, that would be great. Like, I don't know, a pair of shoes that makes it where whenever you walk, you get money. That'd be great. Now, see, we got this boss, and I mean, he is definitely getting fucking melted by rockets. So, seems like rockets might be better than fireballs. Just maybe. Now, obviously, I don't know what the upgrade for fireballs actually is, or the rockets, that I should say. It could be that they're just simply a better version of fireball entirely. I don't love that in games, but it is just a, you know, like, you can only make so many creative options. At some point, something's just gonna have to be a better version of something else. And it looks like the rockets actually redirect in midair if the thing that they're chasing dies, which is even more busted. So that basically means that they don't miss ever. It doesn't seem like they're very fast, so that could be a potential concern. Alright, well, we're on our second swarm. Yep, the more elites to spawn in. The more elites we get to spawn in, basically, the more we get to farm. I just gotta be careful not to die here because I'm still in a very not safe predicament. We could probably handle an additional boss. I mean, we melted the fuck out of that other boss, so. That be sure. I'm trying to loop back around the places I've already been just to pick up the XP, but obviously if you got a magnet, then you don't have to do this. And obviously, if you've got more move speed, it makes it better to do it because you don't have to spend as much time doing it. And ultimately, getting levels is what gives you the most power because it's where all of your upgrades on your weapons comes from. We did manage to get a cheese, so if we manage to find a 3D printer, we can basically trivialize the absolute hell out of the next 3 parts of the game. But whether or not we'll be able to find one is a total unknown. It does mean that move speed is even more important now. So we can discover more of the map in less time. Anything that basically makes it where we can just keep moving further. It does look like there's a charging station. That's a challenge shrine over there. Doesn't look like we're gonna find a printer. But it's always hard for me to really focus on, you know, keeping up the commentary and also everything that's going on in the game. So I may have just spent the entire fucking game in one corner, which is entirely possible. Like keys, free stuff is good. Always love free stuff. Come on, get me the fuck out of here. That's all garbage. we're gonna start banishing tomes so we can try and focus on the luck tome this time, because I think the luck tome is better than the damage tome in my opinion. It just has more of an impact on being able to get better scaling. Well, they have crit chance as one of their upgrades. Okay. Like I said, we're just gonna keep banishing tomes until we get the luck tome for our upgrades. Hopefully we can not have to start using skips, because that will really suck. Well, there is a printer, but it is a blue printer. I don't know. Actually, this isn't terrible. I mean, what am I losing here? Yeah, I think this is probably the best option. I think the first time you use it, it might not even take an item. Banishing a tome. And if we see a legendary upgrade, we're gonna take that, because that's just an insane drop. Can't afford this, so let's just keep looking, see if there's anything else. I don't think there is, though. I'm fairly certain that we pretty much thoroughly explored the map. Ghost is good. We need to probably also be making our way back over to the portal here shortly. Obviously, you can probably... My god, I also don't have Aegis. I just realized that. So, yeah. Once we grab a couple of things over here, we're gonna head the hell out of here. This run not having Aegis is going to be very tricky. There might even be an argument for getting the evasion tome just to save the run, but we'll try it without it, see what happens. You never know, might get lucky. Maybe we're just that cracked that we don't even need Aegis. Because the projectile speed is going to be one of the other ones. And we have spent all of our... Ah, there it is. Took long enough. Yeah, we're just going to try and level up luck as much as possible, because it's going to make every other upgrade we get way better. More counts, not really that good on just one weapon by itself. Attack speed is always good. Always good. Yep. Over the move speeds, especially since we don't have Aegis, we're gonna need to be getting the hell away from everything immediately. I don't know how far the rockets go across the map. That could also be a big contributing factor to, you know, our security here in this run. As you can see, though, we have way a lot of fucking damage. I don't know how this guy's still alive. There he goes. Oh, I'm long enough. I think our move speed just dropped off time freeze, actually. Even better. Obviously, you can sometimes just get entirely carried by the occasional dropping of power-ups. A minute to kill 2 losses should be okay, since that one's already lost a good chunk of its health and we haven't even been in here for a whole second yet. Obviously, we gotta be very, very, very careful with getting pressed in the corners by everything, especially with all this fucking AoE going on. Yeah, evasion, move speed is a pretty good evasive option. It keeps us from actually touching the ground and being in the way of the AoE in the first place, which is a really good thing. Let me tell you, nothing feels as bad in this game as getting mobbed to death from across the fucking stage because you can't outrun a circle that keeps spawning right on top of your character. I don't know if we want to actually hang out here for these ghosts to start spawning. I mean, we'll wait for our XP, obviously, but after that, I think we're probably just gonna head out. We'll see. Basically, the second that I get hit for any amount of damage, I'm leaving. And the reason we just hanging out here is so we can farm a little bit of extra money, a little bit of extra experience, that kind of thing. Mostly the money, obviously. Well, we do know we need fucking evasion now that we don't have any actual defensive players. Other than move speed, obviously. Move speed, possibly the greatest defensive player of all, allows us to not get hit in the first place. But sometimes you just can't avoid getting hit because you can't see what the fuck is happening on the screen. Or there's just enemies, you know, everywhere. I will pick up a couple of these difficulty things, just kind of increase the spawn rate, because mo enemies, mo XP, and it's not like we're hurting for damage right now. Having the swarm of ghosts initially in this second area is also something that we can rely on, thanks to bots. And that'll help us clear out the early enemies. And I just almost died to that fucking lead immediately, because he spawned right in front of me. Now we know we have a magnet here, which we can then abuse later on if we manage to get that much further on. Basically get us some more XP from across the map without us having to go get it. We just have to keep in mind the approximate location of said magnet and when we actually want to activate it. In general, I think after the swarm is a pretty good time to activate the magnet, because that's when you get basically the most amount of experience out of it. I mean, that range isn't terrible. Duration or power of drop chance. Take some power of drop chance here. Boss run. I don't know if we want to click on that yet, because I haven't seen the first boss and how easy it was to kill, and I don't trust it. I don't think we'll have any DPS issues, but you never know. You don't want to get overconfident, especially when you don't have Aegis. Projectile bounces is fucking massive. Yeah, sure, I'll give away some of my non-existent health for 20% damage. I mean, we are basically insta-killing elites, so I think that's a pretty good indicator that we are not going to have any issues with the boss. But, like I said, you never know. And here is the boss, and as you can see, he is getting absolutely fucking mollywopped. Definitely could be dealing more damage, but the amount of damage we're dealing is pretty considerable, so And you're starting to see the problem with not having Aegis, where I almost died because I wasn't paying attention to this fucking wall push shit. Since you can't really target an enemy, I didn't mean to click that. Since you can't target enemies, sometimes a fast elite can just push you into a corner and hit you like 8 times in a row, and then you're dead. And there's nothing you can do about it. Or you can get, you know, body pressed into the floor by the Tower of Power. Like that! Like that right there. That's a very extreme fucking example of what I was exactly talking about. And it's over. And so yeah, let the moral of the story be, Aegis is an absolutely necessary item. Alright, well, I'm feeling pretty exhausted right now. I don't know why. It just came on out of nowhere. So that's probably going to be the last run for the day. If you like the content, leave a like, subscribe to see more, and comment below. Thanks, and see you next time.